Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. We are going to code AutoHotkey. Hello, aspiring Windows composer, the combinatorics student. So we are going to do AutoHotkey, okay? If you haven't seen already, yesterday I did a review of this ultimate hacking keyboard, UHK80. So watch that yesterday. And today, we are going to code AutoHotkey. So on Windows, AutoHotkey is a tool that allows you to do lots of things. Key map, press F8 to launch an application of any application you want, or F3 to copy or cut and paste, or swap Alt key and Control key, or disable window key, or caps lock, or num lock, or scroll lock. So it's a keyboard utility. It's the best one for Microsoft Windows. So if you are on Microsoft Windows, this is very useful. So we're going to go over AutoHotkey in the first 10 minutes, like intro. I can give you an intro. Then we're going to do Emacs sessions for those of you programmers using the Emacs text editor. Okay, and if you are watching this offline, play at 1.5 speed. If you are watching live, say hi, okay? So we're gonna start. So video check, you can see my screen. Yes, Emacs, powerful, the most powerful editor. Show today's talk show, AutoHotkey, so go there. So, okay, so let's begin, okay? So AutoHotkey, so let's make sure, okay, so AutoHotkey is, it's a keyboard utility. You can launch application. For example, I can show you, I'll show later, okay? So you can insert text, any text you want, like your company name, your name, or today's date. It's not case sensitive and there's common syntax. So it's a kind of scripting language, okay, for coders, but it's pretty simple, okay? So if you are not a programmer, you can also use it. And complete key syntax and how do you remap keys. For example, let's see, single key to switch to previous window. Oh yeah, I can show you that. For example, if you have this code, then for me, I just press this key. So watch my window, okay? So can you see actually? So let's put this back here. So I press this key. Can you see my keyboard? Press this key. It will switch to the last window. Now look, press. So I don't have to press like Alt Tab, and So single key press. That is the ultimate way, okay, to save you typing for you professional coders or writers. So you see, so that's using AutoHotkey. So let me show you my AutoHotkey script. AHK. So here is basically my AutoHotkey script. Okay, so I got, for example, this block of code that's copy URL from a browser window. For example, what it does is Control L to put the cursor on the URL field, then Control C to copy it, then switch to Emacs. So let me demo, okay? So let's say this page, okay? Now I press this key. Now, can you see? Yes, okay, press. Now I'm in Emacs, okay? Now open a new buffer, paste, you got the URL. Now in Emacs, I have code to make that into a full URL, so you can see. So let's magnify, okay? So that's a demo. So AutoHotkey, okay? Tremendously useful. Now, so let me just tell you guys. So now they have a AutoHotkey version 2, which is a major upgrade because AutoHotkey began like some 20 years ago. So in the late 1990s, I believe. So the syntax, it's very bad, meaning that, it's very inconsistent, extremely lousy. So about 5 or 10 years ago, they started to rewrite. They have a AutoHotkey version 2, which is much better. So what I'm gonna do, I have my tutorial. This is starting in 2009. So now I need to update them to version 2 because version 2, the code is incompatible with version 1. So I need to make a few updates. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Okay. So for you, those of you non-coders or not using Emacs, you can just go off and download AutoHotkey and explore. Today they have very good documentation. Not so 10 years ago. So today you got AI, so lots of things. So today they go download and documentation. So you want version 2, okay? Version 1 is basically obsolete. Okay, so click on version 2, then you have click on tutorials, then you can install, how to run, sample code, run programs, write hotkeys like remap keys or whatever. So today they have good tutorial. My tutorial is kind of, you don't need it. I give you some different tips, so it's still very useful. But in general, for most people, they have a good, fairly good tutorial today. So for those of you, want to use this, you can stop watching and go off. But now, next 30 minutes, what I'm gonna do is for Emacs, for those of you Emacs coders. So this is more advanced. So I'm gonna demonstrate how I update my tutorial. Like I have massive number of tutorials for complete tutorial, on Microsoft key binding, another tool. This is Microsoft Power Toys. It's very good. Then you go, complete tutorial for Linux. This is also pretty old, like there's like 100 pages about key map and key binding on Linux. Complete tutorial on Mac for key bindings, set up keyboard shortcuts. Then 1,000 articles on keyboards and mouse and trackball and pen input device. And then I have like 1,000 articles on programming languages. Okay, Emacs, Lisp, Wolfram language, HTML, Visual, CSS, JavaScript, SVG, Golang, PowerShell, Python. Each one is like hundreds of pages. So that's what I do. That's my obsession. Writing documentation, writing tutorial is part of it, but also explore the lots of things about computer. Okay, so for those of you interested in Emacs, you can keep on watching. So let's start to do Emacs session. Okay, so let's update my PowerShell tutorial. Every half an hour. So this is casual. Now every half hour, about every hour, I get up and walk back and forth and read my website or read other mathematics or computer science research articles and so on, and I take notes. And so then I get back on my power station and start to work on them. So today's date, okay, so we need to add a PowerShell about how to insert today's state. Actually, I never done that. So meanwhile, let's also explore artificial intelligence. Okay, in AutoHotkey, how to insert today's date. So what I want to do is press a key, you'll insert today's date anywhere. Okay, so the AI today will help you. So I'm using Grok. I paid Twitter to have, Grok, but Grok is the latest AI. You can just go to grok.com and use it. I recommend it over all the others. So it's better than Chat GPT and so on. Okay. Okay. So here's the code. Let's see if it works. So let's just add it to my AutoHotkey. Okay, show version. So let's say F. That's a key for control. And what is ban for? Ban is shift, I believe. I forgot. So let's look up the key binding. Okay. The exclamation sign is Alt key. Okay. So what it's trying to do here is set Control Alt and D to insert today's date. Okay. So you gotta use format time current date. Okay, let's just run it. Update. So it will run when AutoHotkey runs. You can see this tiny icon on the taskbar. Or system tray, it was called system tray, but technically it wasn't called system tray, but it became so popular. So I think Microsoft adopted the name system tray. But anyway, that's another thing. Okay, now I can press, let's go to Notepad. So something simple. So that's Control Alt D. So Control Alt D. Fantastic and beautiful. Can you see that? Control Alt D. Okay, that's how you insert today's date. So actually, I need to add to my tutorial. So let's see. Fantastic. So insert text. So I have a section on insert text. So copy the URL back to Emacs and open it. Back to that. Copy that. Okay. So this is you are watching my Emacs workflow. Okay, so let's add a new section. AutoHotkey, paste that code and insert today's date. Okay, do that. I'm using Xah HTML mode. That's my Emacs stuff. So, okay, showing browser. There it is. Now you want to syntax color it. So press, showing browser. Fantastic. Okay. So insert today's date. That's done. Delete it. Okay. Download AutoHotkey. 15 years ago, it was not forced HTTPS, but today they want, most websites are AutoHotkey HTTPS. Okay, go to their website. Fantastic. Close, back here, download at. Fantastic. Done. Close. Okay, new version 2. Now you need to mention new version. Okay, so AutoHotkey versions. Okay, how are you guys doing? Any people watching? This is interesting. So let's just get this to work. Okay, AutoHotkey versions. Version 1 is very old, since year 2K, something like that. Okay, actually, let's look up the web. The pink window, you can see all my command calls and keystrokes on the left and command calls on the right. Okay, so you can see I'm calling Xah lookup web. That's a command I have in Emacs. Okay, so AutoHotkey, let's go to Wikipedia. Now, what's the date originated? 2003. Okay, so since 2003, it is obsolete. Okay, now version 2. Version 2, when did version 2 start? So this is part of the research when you write a tutorial and stuff. Okay, so 2021. Began in 2021. It is incompatible with version 1. Okay, version 1. it is the current version. Okay, showing browser. Fantastic. Now we covered the version so people know. Okay, so now there's another convention about the title capitalization conventions. There are several ways. There's American way, you capitalize every word except minor words like and, or, in, the. The United Kingdom way is you simply capitalize the first letter of the sentence. So typically I follow American way, but the UK way is actually better. Because American way, then you have to capitalize every word of the sentence. It's kind of like unnecessary. And also complicated because what happens when the title is of two sentences sometimes. So then you become, then whether like typically you don't need a period after the title. But if your title happens to be like one full sentence or two sentences, then you need a period. So the American way is like more complicated. Anyway, so let me move on faster. So this one is done, deleted. So AutoHotkey, now there's an orthography issue. You see, AutoHotkey, should the K be capitalized? Normally, yes, because AutoHotkey, each one is supposed, is supposed to be independent AutoHotkey. But the AutoHotkey convention, actually, they don't. They, that they consider it as AutoHotkey, like two words. So I looked up. So delete that. So you can see I looked up. Did I make a screenshot? Somewhere. Yeah, there. You see, the official site and Wikipedia, they don't capitalize the K. Okay, delete. So you see, when I work on tutorial, there's lots of issues to look into if you pay attention to the details. It involves technical writing, involves writing style, involves orthography, AutoHotkey or capital A key, involves convention, tradition of English, UK style or American style, the capitalization of the title, involves research into, past versions, like when did it start, how it began. Of course, I know there's also history. It came from AutoIt, kind of open source. So, lots of issues. So anyway, let's go back to, let's see, questions. Hello, Praveen. What do you think about code editor Lam, which is configurable in common lisp and is a modern similar to Emacs? Praveen, okay, like that's a long history. Like there's been different Emacs or Emacs based on common lisp or Emacs based on scheme since like 30 years ago. But typically they are not very powerful. They are like someone started but just never picked up speed. Okay, they just like, like one guy show. Not many users, 100, a few thousand maybe at best. So Lam, have I actually wrote about it? I don't know. Is that, how new is that? So let's see, Lam editor. GitHub Lam project, general purpose, whatever. What do you guys think of? Let's see, magnify. Okay, so now this key to enlarging. What do you guys think of editor Lam? Okay, general purpose. Okay, whatever. Let's open that. Okay, so what is the date? Now you need to turn on JavaScript so Google knows where you live and Microsoft knows. And let's check what year this project begin. Install nightly build. Okay, it seems pretty new. Do you know what's the year? Say it. Okay. Goals, whatever. Oh, quite a, okay. So it's looks like it's like newish. They come and go. Like for example, 10 years ago, or by now 15 years ago, there's a new Haskell editor. Then there's also new Rust editor. Like when they came up, they became like hugely talked about. But after after 2-3 years, it just dies. Okay. So, and I have wrote a lot blogs in the past 20 years, 30 years, about them. Then, it just became history. So will this lame editor last? You don't know. Okay. And I'm not gonna use it. I will use it if it become robust and such like that. So what year is it? That's important. When did this begin? I think it's recent. Okay, so for me, whenever I look into or adopt a technology, I have to know the details. I have to know what year you begin, who wrote it. Like typically today, it's usually harder to find like who the fuck actually wrote this and why do you do it. Like they kind of hide it starting like even 20 years ago. The mentality, the all fairly fucked up. Okay, so for example, what right now I want to know who wrote this. Usually somebody like a single guy wrote it. Who is it? Does it say no? These fuckers, who I call, starting with the late millennial, and the Zoomers are worse. Like they don't say it. They don't say author. Also partly because of the deep state influence, code of conduct, like fuck you all up. So like the mentality, like let me ask you guys, this is a project, open source, so someone spend their time, sweat, and blood to create it. Why do they not say author? It's written by, I started this project. Like usually they don't, or these, like, and it's mixed in with scams, because scams, if you are a scammer, of course you don't want to say, oh, I started this project, something, right? So it's all mixed in. It's like so, but to the Zoomers, you guys, like you guys don't know. You guys don't know a thing. You just lived. You were born into this way of the internet. You think this is normal. Who the fuck, puts up the name? And also, you are a coward. You are so-called coward anon coward, because you don't want to put your name, because, oh, in case, somebody dug up what you did, what you said 10 years ago, then you're gonna be canceled. You're gonna be fucked. So the rumors, you guys, no, we don't want the authorship. So that, all these, little things creates a collapse of USA that's going on today. Okay. But you think, oh, I'm just gonna Linux. I'm just gonna, be a tech hacker. I'm gonna be anon and do Linux and prevent all the Google doing things. You're kidding yourself. Okay, anyway, so this project, you don't know who wrote it. It takes a lot of time to dig into, okay? Then you don't know what year it began and what is, goals, vision. Yeah, so, yeah, but, I want personal information. I don't want, like, the marketing, nice words. Like, I want to know when you wrote it, like, what exactly, why you wrote it, something like that. Or it can be a corporate sponsored it, why you, like real, authentic from people like you and me. I don't want the like remove all any personal details, like nice wording. We're gonna help help Africa. We're gonna, vision, like vision of whose vision? I want to know. It doesn't say goals. What Okay, so you see, they removed all kind of actual, real information, and that's the situation with the Zoomers, starting with the late millennial fuck faces. That's when they created the like button, the Jack Dorsey on Twitter, the Mark Zuckerberg fuck face, the Facebook fuck face Mark Zuckerberg. So they created this and use Zoomer, and look at these fucks, this Zoomer fucks. Who is this guy? Oh, this is a bear or otter. Okay, this guy's got a face, good. And that's a noun, or this one is a lisper, the fuck. This is the collapse of USA. Okay. Okay, I rambled, I digressed. Let's go back to what I want to do. So to answer your question, am I interested in this one? Not really. Until you become, robust and good, then I might use it. Okay, so next, update image. Okay, so let's update that. So update the AutoHotkey. So version 2 is okay. So in order to do that, so let's create a new window. Wait, create a new buffer and magnify. Okay, I don't want actually. So Windows D to hide it all, and click on that, and now do a screenshot. Okay, it's got the new now Windows D again. That's a very annoying thing about Windows. Once you Windows D, then you can't get back all the other windows. So then you have to like click, click one by one. You can't just get them all back. I want all the windows because I have Hover to activate because I moved my mouse. Can you guys see? Okay, so let me demo this again. I talked about this a million times. Hover to activate. So watch my hand. Okay, right now I'm using this Ultimate Hacking Keyboard 80 trackpad. So I move here, no click, it'll pop up to the front. I move here, and with the real big mouse, it's easier. So you see, I never click because click is it requires muscle movement. So if you're gonna click 1,000 times, in every day because you are a hacker, then you're gonna have fingers pain, mouse hand problems. So I don't click. So it's like non-destructive way of navigating your windows. Okay, so I need the windows to be like over and have a little corner I can just move the mouse to. So but when you do Windows D, in case you want a screenshot or something, if you do it right away again, then they come back. But if you Windows D, then you did something, then they there's no way to get them all back. Like stupid Windows. Like, okay, I have like 100 articles on the idiocy of Windows. Okay, how Windows sucks. Search my website, you'll find it. My website is xahlee.info. No HTTPS, no S. Okay, now let's get back to what we're doing. Today I'm popular. I got 17 viewers. Is that right? 11. Okay. So now let's get back. So I got a new screenshot. AutoHotkey. Go here. Run script. So I need to update that. So search for PNG. Okay. Open. Okay, that's version 1. So let's add a version 2. Press. Wait. Show the pink window, my Emacs commands. Press. Okay, you see, automatically insert. Now refresh. Now that's version 2. Okay, now we need to rename this image. You see, go to the directory. We need to rename it. There are many ways, but I have the most efficient way, which is press. Okay, now just say AutoHotkey U to expand V2. Okay, then a date. Okay, do it. Fantastic. Okay, you see, you see, open that, go to the directory. It's I don't have to go to the Windows, for example, the Windows Explorer, then rename. Fantastic. Okay, now update the figure caption. Okay, so I do press. Fantastic. Okay, showing browser. So the version 2, then there's other thing about writing a tutorial, which is about formatting and lots of issues. Okay, So I've been doing this for 20 years. So for example, running AutoHotkey script icon, that's too wordy. So okay, so anyway, so remove that. Okay, that's an image. Okay, let's see if this image is used anywhere else. This is the old one. Okay, now call a XAH command, XAH flag command. Wait, let me show you. Okay, call this command, which is XAH find text. Okay, you pay me, you can get it. Search for it, you'll find it. Okay, now I want to search that to see if this is used anywhere in xahlee.info. Okay, search HTML files, over like 10,000 HTML files. Okay, only one occurrence. That means it's safe to delete it. Normally you can't just delete this because it might be used in other pages, but now we know it's only one occurrence. So open that. Now call a command. Let's see what is the key. I forgot. Let's say move file to the. Okay, so I just tap M old, not Emacs old. It's called unused images. Do it, so that we'll move it to a bunch of like old images. I can show you. So for example, this, so in the past 20 years of writing programming languages and computer stuff, so you can see AutoHotkey, this is like 10 years ago. So you can see a lot of old versions, Windows AutoHotkey. So that one is registry editor. This is Windows Vista or something. And back then you have Google Plus. That's 20 years ago. It's very popular to have these icons. Old images. So now it's moved to the old images. Okay, because I don't use that. Then delete. Okay, so show in browser. Okay, we got a new one. Anyway, I need to edit this text too. So let me read the comments a bit. Okay, where did the comment go? Okay, here. And we need to move on. Okay, so delete that. Okay, so let's see. Now, if you guys like my stuff, pay me. Okay, go to my xahlee.info bottom, PayPal, Patreon. So let's copy and XAH, hi, go. Important question indeed. The same like with McDonald's, who is the owner? For me, it's important to know who, why, and how. Okay. Hi, XAH, been a while since I've seen you. Coffee house philosopher. Okay. It's basic OPSEC, XAH. All Zoomers know GitHub contributor insights. Contributor insights. Okay, I don't know what you're saying exactly. So we are going to bring coffee to everyone around the world. The Lisp one can be a Zoomer. Do they even know about Lisp? Yeah, that makes sense. Zoomers know Lisp because we don't have jobs. That's kind of true too. I need to stop LARPing as a hacker and more studying and practice. That is true. That's important. And by the way, LARPing, that's another Zoomer's jargon I learned from Alan. LARPing, they have to say LARPing and gaslighting and all the crap. Jesus, the Zoomer gen. Okay, next. So I'm gonna go on a bit, 10 more minutes, 20 minutes, and then we're gonna go off. Okay, so this part this one is about changing the link AutoHotkey mode for Emacs. If you use Emacs, you can use AutoHotkey mode. I wrote it fixes some of the problems I found. Okay, so over there, but today you don't need it because you see, another thing about writing a tutorial is that over the decades, things change. Writing style change. You know, today's English is different from 100 years ago. But within every 10 years, decade, they also change slightly. So for example, in fact, today, my entire AutoHotkey tutorial is like kind of obsolete. Because today, you go to AI, just ask any question you want. You can actually ask it to write an entire tutorial, and it will be 99% correct because I've asked so many times on different languages. Okay, so today, in fact, my entire AutoHotkey tutorial is like, not that useful. But it's very different 15 years ago when I began, 2009. Okay, because back then, the official AutoHotkey website is like fucking idiotic, sucks. There's no tutorial, like there's some, but it's like so bad. So people go to my website, or other programmers, bloggers, you go to blogs. So I write, I do a lot of that. So that's one thing. The other thing is, so for example, this phrase, about Emacs, today people don't care. Emacs users has dwindled so much because the Emacs idiots, the Emacs dev, the Richard Stallman, in the past like 10, 20 years, is so bad. So who cares? Like, what Emacs? They're just gonna use VS Code. So this passage is done for. Okay, so let me show you how I do it. Okay, let's copy the link there, paste the link, and it became a file path. You see, now actual linkify it, make it a list, then make it a related topic box. You can see there, it's now showing browser. Go to the bottom. You see, it was like that. Now you got this related box. Okay, then you just go here, delete, and in fact, delete the section tag. Okay, showing browser. Go to the bottom. So now it's just this related articles box. So for those of you actually using Emacs, they can see, oh, related, they go to my AutoHotkey. Yeah, so, and even this page is not up, I wrote this like 15 years ago, and the code is not much updated. So I can show you my AutoHotkey. Okay, so describe function Xah AutoHotkey AutoHotkey mode. Okay, go there. That's a file. 400 lines of code. Still good, but I really haven't updated it. Okay, so let's go. So in fact, this now I realized. So in fact, remove the entire mention of Emacs, because today people don't care. Things changed after 15 years. Okay, so next, so this done. Next, open file or folder. Okay, make it this H3 and update. Okay, let's show that page. Let me show you. So this page is about launching apps. So press a key to copy the URL and switch to Emacs, and press. This will open whatever file path on the clipboard. Okay, so we are on this page showing browser. You can see fantastic. Now press a key to switch to previous window. This key. Now, am I doing good? Am I still talking? Okay, so now show in browser. Now open file. Now this launch app that needs to move to the above section. Okay, so search for, so first of all, update the date, show in browser. You see there's an update, last update. Okay, so press. So now you got a new date. Now search for Emacs. So this actually, yeah, okay. So put it back, cut that, and this is launch app here, and this cut that, paste and launch app with parameters. Okay, that is what this is about. And make this H3. Okay, so press. Wait, what is the key? Yeah, H3. Okay, now syntax color or show in browser. So you got launch app with parameters. Okay, so organize them logically. And open file, also mention open folder. Okay, open file or folder. Capitalize it, American style, show in browser. Fantastic. Okay, so that is done. Close. And let me demo this part. Okay, so set key to launch app. So that is here. I want now also over the past 20 years, my coding style has changed. So let me show you here. So search for pre. Okay, so pop it out. Not this one. Okay, search for pre. More example of different keys. So you see, so now my coding style changed. So copy or so paste it here. Now let's move. I want the comment to be per line. I no longer like the comment after the end of the line. Traditionally, when the comment is short, you put it after the line. Doesn't matter, okay, but today I want, let me demonstrate Emacs macro to make all the lines per line. Okay, so let's see. So start recording a macro, watch the pink window, it will show my command course. Okay, now okay, search all that to the end, then cut it into the beginning of line, paste it, and add a new line. Okay, then search for semicolon. Okay, then switch to command mode, then put the cursor back. Okay, now stop recording macro. You see, now call the macro I just recorded. Do it. Fantastic. Now do it again. Instead of pressing 3 keys to call the macro, I can just call repeat last command like this. Okay, so now press. You see? Okay, so actually we can actually do that a little bit. Okay, so this part, this is new, above that is old, so actually we can compare which is better. Okay, compare, let's see. Now put it back. Now make another pre AutoHotkey, paste it, syntax color them all, show in browser. So now we can compare which looks better to you. So the first one is more compact. The second one is like that. I prefer the second one because, again, after 20 years, the computer screen is different. So now you got huge screens. So yeah, I prefer the second one because it got more clarity. And people became impatient. They don't want to read like a long sentence. They just so okay, showing browser. We remove the first one. Yeah, let's use that one. So this part per line, demo Emacs macro done. Delete that. Okay, so far so good. Now let's see comment. Yes, I'm talking great ACPJR. Have you reflected on why your coding style has changed? If so, can you share your thought about it? Of course. that would be huge topic. I can talk about that for hours. And I have 100 articles about that. Okay, so you just go to Xah Lee.info, go to Xah Lee, go to parents, Xah code, Xah Lee.info. Then you can go to Fun Tech programming language tutorials, hacker code, Python documentation. So this is about coding idioms and style. Okay, so you can go to it's hard to organize because I have like 10,000 articles. So just go to actually syntax soup, semantic noodles, compline perving. Okay, go there. Compline perving. When a girl says you are a pervert, you just show them, yeah, I'm a compline perving. Okay, so syntax soup, all about syntax. Semantic noodle, all about semantics, object, array. What does this mean? What's an exception? Is it exception good or bad? Each one of these got 100 or more articles. Okay, and on Lisp programming language, so the one you want to go to is about idioms, programming idioms and style. And expressiveness, which to learn programming language hate and love, where I document why I hate this line or that line, why I love. Popularity issues, that's a social issue. Why is PHP and JavaScript considered the worst languages by the hackers, by the C fuckheads, by the Lisp fuckheads? But JavaScript and PHP became the most popular ever. It's a social issue, okay? Popularity. And Python. Why is Python popular? Okay, so you have to dive into. Okay, there it is. Programming idioms and coding style. What is an idiom? Is idiom good or bad? Should you follow it? And what's a coding style? Google has a coding style guide. Every programming language and factions have one. So that's about that. Now, regarding this specific case, why should the comma, about this comment, why should it be single line or multiple lines? Why do I change from putting short comma after line to prefer one line, or comma on a line by itself? That's a minor issue. Okay, I can go either way, but the reason is because when you have comment on a single line, that in general provides more clarity. You see this, so it's basically more clarity. But then you have the compactness issue because now you take small lines. So if you are in a real life coding, it depends, it really just depends. But for this specific tutorial, I think this way is better for today. Okay, so that is why for that one. Now this set key to launch app. Now this section needs to be a new page. Okay, because on this page is about launching app. Now set key to launch app is related, but in terms of AutoHotkey, it's slightly different because AutoHotkey, when you set a key to do something, that involves a separate thing, because then it involves the key syntax, so kind of like separate. So let's just make them a new page. Okay, so I already have written Emacs command. So what I do is press 5 keys. Now show in browser. Now that's a page by itself. Okay, now close that. Now show this in browser. So now you can see, now it becomes a link to that new page. Now I want to change. Let's make sure this. Okay, so let's change the file name. I want them to be the way I have them before. Okay, key to launch app. Okay, it's all lowercase. Okay, do it. And also you need, let's see, yeah, you need this prefix. You want to follow the way I have it. I need to follow the way. So if you open that, go to you see all these files start with AutoHotkey. So that's my, you want to stick with the way they are. So it's more consistent. Okay, and here the title, you need to add AutoHotkey abbreviation and a colon. Okay, and you also need to change it here. So I have a command, press, do it. You see it's changed now. Showing browser, set key to launch app. Fantastic. So now this is a new page. You need to add this to the panel. So let's do that. Okay, copy that. Here is the panel. Here, this section is the left panel. So you want, so first of all, you paste the file name, linkify, make a list, remove the UL. Okay. Then you want to, remove the prefix. Okay, that's what you want. Cut. Then launch. Okay, should you let's just do it. Okay, here. Okay, so copy those. Now so what I need to do is, for all these files in the directory, whenever these two lines occur, change them. Okay, so I have a command in Emacs that allows me to do it. Xah find package. So press, change these two lines. Okay, and what do you want to change it to? I want to change it to paste previous there. So added this new line. So do it. In this directory, yes, or HTML files, yes, there it is. So now you can see it changed all these files. You see, and press a list of all the files it changed. Okay, good. Close. Showing browser. So you can see set key to launch app. Launch app, file name extension, launch app, set key to launch app, insert text. Fantastic. You see, that's how I update this navigation panel. Okay, so this one, new page is done. Delete it. Now there's more. Okay, so is this interesting? Should I go on or should I just do it offline? Why I hate C. Why Mr. Xah wants to break my heart. C is just no good. It's Asian, 40 years old. C survives today in part because the momentum. Because all the software is written in it. You can't just you can't kill it. The other reason why there are new people using C is majorly because the C code. Because C, like Unix, has a sense, like it's very difficult. It's very cryptic. Therefore, it is the best because it makes things, it's for the real man. Because then if you know C, that means you are a real computer scientist, this fuck. In fact, what is more true is that C is just so badly designed, so badly designed. Not because it's involves, advanced mathematics. That's why it's hard. You need to really study hard. That's not why. Why is C like hard? Because it's so badly like the most worthless shit from like 50 years ago. Okay. But they think, the C idiots, computing industry idiots, they think, oh, C is the real man's language because, you don't want to be a JavaScript or Python kiddie. They don't know anything, they, you need to code C because then you need 10,000 lines to do the same thing. C code, C idiots. Okay, fuck the Unix and C idiots. And what's worse is C++. C++. Oh, how to be popular? Okay, to be the one tactic to be popular is just to ride on the existing popularity. Therefore, I'm going to create a C compatible language, C++. It's C, the one you love and very popular, but I'm gonna make it plus and plus. That's C++. Another huge story of the worst shit. Okay, worst shit in computer science. Now Rust. Okay, Rust. Okay, so now we are digressing to programming languages, which is what I talk about a lot. Rust is kind of different story. Okay, Rust is, first of all, it's a new language, since like 15 years ago. So in general, for programming languages, if it's more than 20 years old, the age difference, the later ones are better, for sure. Okay, so Rust is better than C? Absolutely. Is Rust better than C++? Absolutely. There's no question about it. Rust is just better. If we can ignore the existing code or habit, because older people, they don't know Rust. They are used to Emacs. So just remove them. So if you don't have old people or old code, then we don't need C and C++. Okay, you can go just all Rust and Golang. But Rust, in my opinion, they got kind of their own problem. Rust, because it's a hot shot, it's like the new kid in town, or the Zoomer idiots, they don't really know nothing. But I heard my friend says Rust is much better. That's kind of the situation with Rust. It's also a cult, okay, kind of like that. So I don't know Rust actually, so I cannot really say, but I do have decades of experience of programming languages, and Rust is kind of like very complex. Okay, so hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm gonna go, guys. So thank you guys for watching. Let's turn on back the camera and turn on back my system. So I gotta go. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.